China's only successful because they're stealing our innovations. We gotta find these spies and kick them out. That's actually making us dumber. Our smart American institutions are telling us that Donald Trump's witch hunts for Chinese spies are causing our researchers to leave the US. Yeah, the researchers who are using our resources to send technology back home to China. They were using China's resources. That's why they got in trouble. We don't pay our researchers enough. No thanks to Donald Trump's cuts. So these researchers applied for international grants. Only one or two were even accused of stealing research. Most of them were accused of failing to disclose foreign funding. And a lot of them were found completely innocent. But just being investigated meant losing everything. If you have nothing to hide, then you got nothing to worry about. Look, national security is serious, but so is destroying the careers of American researchers like Dr. Anming Hu. He had 2 PhDs, 2 NASA grants. He was a world-renowned nanotechnology expert who refused to be an informant against China for the FBI. So the FBI surveilled him for 2 years and told his university that he was working for the Chinese military. That caused him to get fired and put on a no-fly list, and then he was separated from his family. At the trial, the FBI agents actually admitted that they built the case on falsified evidence. A juror called it, quote, the most ridiculous case, and the judge acquitted him completely. He had nothing to hide, but he lost everything. Okay, one bad case. The system's not perfect, but the threat is real. It is not just one. Professor Chen at MIT was a US citizen. They arrested him and accused him of hiding $25 million in Chinese funding. But MIT itself had arranged the funding as a university collaboration. He faced 20 years in prison, but was completely innocent. And after he was cleared, he helped discover what scientists are calling the best semiconductor material ever found. But now he said he's done with federal funding. That was an injustice to him personally, but it's bad for all of us. Those are fringe cases. Trump has caught a lot of real spies. You can't just ignore our national security to protect a few researchers. No, you're not realizing how bad this is. Dr. Jane Wu was in the US for 40 years. She was a Northwestern professor researching Alzheimer's and ALS, diseases that are killing millions of Americans, by the way. NIH investigated her and banned her from her own lab. In 2023, they finally cleared her completely, but Northwestern still cut her salary, took her lab, and made it impossible for her to apply for new grants. Then they called the police to remove her and had her committed to a psychiatric ward. They released her the day after her grant deadlines passed, and weeks later, she finally took her own life. She was 60 years old and a mother of 2. Over 1,000 researchers, including Nobel laureates, signed a letter condemning what happened. She was never even charged, but like the other researchers, she was already guilty of being Chinese. Okay, that is just awful. And my grandmother suffered from Alzheimer's, so I know we gotta make that research a priority. But we're in a technological arms race with China. They'll be an existential threat to us if they keep stealing our research in things like AI, robotics, fusion energy, and drones. Wait, you don't know how advanced China already is? Yeah, they're catching up really fast. That's why we gotta protect our technology. Catching up? Oh my god. You are so deep in the US propaganda. Here in reality, China's about to leave us behind. DJI does 70% of the world's drones. China installs more robots than the rest of the world combined for way cheaper than we could ever do it. They spend twice as much on fusion research. That's probably why they broke the world fusion record. Meanwhile, Trump is cutting all of our research. Even Elon Musk's AI will tell you that China's going to win the AI race. Elon said it himself. Even the Nvidia CEO said it. Wake up. That's exactly why we can't keep letting them steal our research. But we're stealing their people. Have you seen a tech startup take a group photo before? Over 38% of our top AI researchers did their undergrad at Chinese universities. 37% studied here in the US. They award twice as many STEM PhDs as we do. They file for half of the world's patents and 6 times more generative AI patents than the US. And we're responding by traumatizing our own scientists into leaving. Okay, those numbers might sound really convincing, but to be honest, I don't really understand what a percent is. If we gotta start another war to win this thing, That's what America does best. Oh my god, no, please, America, no more wars. We're in so many already. Do you guys not remember Afghanistan? Iraq, Vietnam, Korea. So what are you saying that we should do? It just sounds like you hate the United States and love China. You think that we should all submit to China and become their 35th province. Let's all start drinking hot water and taking naps after lunch. We can celebrate the Spring Festival instead of Easter. Prosperity and abundance to you and your family in the year of the horse, comrade. What are you talking about? I don't hate the US. I want better for us. Even for jerks like you. Aw. But the future is not going to be like the past. To compete these days, you need to cooperate. That's how China got this far. Let them fund research that benefits both of us, especially now that Trump has cut so much funding. Keep inviting their best scientists to build our innovations. We have things here that they need, and now they have things that we need too. We all benefit from cooperation, except for the billionaires who want to monopolize our tech industries. Yeah, that's who's pushing all this propaganda, by the way. I don't know about all that. Just try to be more aware of the propaganda our media puts out about China. This year, there were already 3 big news stories being framed as China stealing our research, but none of them showed any evidence of being ordered by the Chinese government. They're just individual crooked businessmen who wanted to get rich personally. Individuals from every country do that, and it's bad. But when they're Chinese, we blame the entire country. You're just so sure the Chinese government isn't pulling the strings, huh? You're the one who told me not to underestimate them. You're right, I can't disprove a baseless conspiracy theory, but I can tell you that our government is doing way more damage than theirs ever could. We spent billions investigating Chinese researchers and found almost nothing. We wasted money that could have been spent on research just to drive our own researchers away. If you think clearly about it, China doesn't want us weak, destabilized, or worst of all, poor. Do you know what happened over there after the 2008 crash? What? I don't know. It's probably when they started stealing our research.